back just in time. I can't believe it. All right, let me say we'll do a sound test here. Let's see. We can get some sound. We're gonna say one, two, three, testing. We're gonna turn up the volume, see how far we can go without screaming. Yeah, one, two, one, two. That's good. One, two, one, two, one, two. All right. I think that's good. Good sound, I think. So there we go. That's good. I think we're good. All right. I made it just in time so that we can watch this voting out loud. Crazy. Crazy. All right, guys. Hey, welcome back to my channel. I tell you what, I always have a good time going live wherever I go, but I miss it when I'm not here at home. It's just so much different, so much better, and I like it. Omar, welcome. Ozzy, welcome, my friend. Robert, hit that like button. Manuel Correa is back in the house. Need to run on your own ticket. Don't try to be like Trump. He's got money. Be yourself. I will try, Manuel, but the problem, well, the problem is with trying to separate me with Trump. It's that he just, I really believe that everything that he's doing is it's good. Like, I mean, I'm convinced. Maybe people can call me I'm brainwashed or something, but I just really believe that President Donald Trump is he knows what he's doing, and I support him, especially because of all the hate that he's been getting from people. I think that yeah, you can go ahead and bring it. Can you grab me the buns right there and just put it together and I'll put the mayo on it. Yeah, I'm trying to rush over here. My wife is bringing me some hot dogs. So guys, excuse me. This is how we got to do it. You got to work. Sometimes you got to eat while you work. Sometimes you got to, I pack myself with coffee, but this is true, my friend. President Donald Trump is famous, and I am definitely not famous. But I have this belief that President Trump was put in office by God. And if he can put President Trump in office, I think he can put anybody that he wants. Now, I know for sure, maybe brainwashed, but if this is called brainwashed, I will take it because the alternative is just lunacy. And I don't think I can do that. To try to fight for my country, allowing invaders to destroy it, I think it will be very contradictory of what I'm actually standing for. So, that's where I'm at with that. How was this sound, guys? For some of you old folks out there that were complaining about my sound, I actually got a device. That's right. This is what I do for a living. This is how I earn my paycheck from you guys. This channel is not possible if it wasn't for you supporters. So thank you so much for your love and support. This device that I bought, it was pretty not expensive, but it was $129. And only because a few of you guys, of my members, not subscribers by themselves, but subscribers and members, were telling me that the volume was very low and they couldn't hear. So hopefully this will give us some sort of advantage. And let me check the sound again real quick. Yeah, fantastic. Okay, great. That's a half volume. I'm getting good sound on my cell phone, so fantastic. All right, let's see. Read a couple of comments. Chapman says, for sure, brainwashed. Yep, yep, yep. Ira says, hi. How are you, Ira? Or Era. Era? Era. Ericon. Ericon. Oh, I like that. All right. Yeah, yes, he did. Tyler, welcome back, my friend. God bless you. That's right, Manuel. God does not deal in politics. We do. But we also, remember this, we also have to find favor in God. And while God is not going to just put somebody in office as you think, I will contradict you on that. because I believe it was in Leviticus. I think it was Leviticus. Um, the people ask the prophet to tell God or to ask God to give them government, a king. They wanted a king. And God said, go back to your people. This is Samuel. I think it was Samuel. There you go. Yeah, it is Samuel. He said, go back to the people and tell them that if they want a king, this king will rule over them, will tell them what to do. He might even oppress them and go through all this stuff. Thank you, love. And the people said, yes, we want a king. Give us a king. And so God gave them a king. So by that example right there, I can tell you that God's favor can be upon somebody and they can be successful because of God. All right? So I want to give thanks to my members that you are here. And give me a few seconds in here. Let me shovel down one hot dog down my throat. And please, if you have not become a member, I will appreciate it if you start thinking about maybe joining us. It will help the channel, and we'll continue to do this type of content. Plus, we have a campaign to run starting next year, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah. And we are waiting to see if we actually get um, just enough Democrats to vote to reopen the government. All right, guys, you got to excuse me because I'm not done eating my food. But we are just listening to the actual vote. This is live, so there's no rewinding. I guess we can rewind, but let's take a look. Let's see if we can listen to Bernie Sanders first.
Solution
Security of our families and our nations. We must begin to act tonight. We must not delay any longer. Finally, Mr. President, I want to thank the many members on both sides of the aisle of the Appropriations Committee and the Senate leadership who have worked especially hard to bring this package together. And I would be remiss if I did not also thank our staff. My staff missed an entire night's sleep to get this package together and get the job done. Thank you, Mr. President. Again, I want to particularly thank the members of the Appropriations Committee, including the three who served as the subcommittee chairs, Senator Bozeman, Senator Hoeven, and Senator Mullen. I want to thank Senator Britt, who did an extraordinary amount of work, Lisa Murkowski, Mike Rounds, Jerry Moran, Sherry Moore Capito, Sidney Hyde-Smith, Deb Fisher. There's so many who worked so hard on this package. I want to thank each and every one of them. Let's get the job done, and let's do it fast. Thank you, Mr. President.
I will say Schumer's vote was nay.
Senator Hoeven in my list. Senator Hoeven was a rock star, so I want to make sure that I mentioned him. Thank you.
Senator from Vermont.
I understand that the way the process has been developed, it is impossible to delay the votes that are going to take place. And if that were not the case, that is certainly what I would do, because I think it is important that the American people fully understand what is being voted on today. Everybody in America knows that our current health care system is broken, it is dysfunctional, it is cruel, it is by far the most expensive health care system in the world, and the only health care system of any major country that does not guarantee health care to all people as a human right, covering every man, woman, and child. We are unique in that respect. And yet tonight, what this Senate is about to do is make a horrific situation even worse. So let's be clear what this vote is about. If this vote succeeds, over 20 million Americans are going to see at least a doubling in their premiums in the Affordable Care Act. In my state of Vermont and throughout this country, for certain groups of people, it will be a tripling and a quadrupling of their premiums. There are people who will now be paying 50% of their limited incomes for health care. Does anybody in the world think that makes sense? And if this resolution is passed tonight, we are on a pathway to throw 15 million Americans off of Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act. 15 million. Our job is to create universal health care, guarantee health care to every man, woman, and child, not throw 15 million people off the health care they have, low-income and working-class people. And my friends, know what you are voting on. Studies are out there that when you throw 15 million people off of health care, some 50,000 of our fellow Americans will die unnecessarily every single year.
Stop lying. It's so dramatic about that, man. That's what they do. Fear monger. Every single time. Fear mongering. If they would shut the hell up in the government, and then discuss the benefits, they wouldn't have that problem. But they like to fear monger the American people. I want you to know that. They still had a few months left. November and December. Stop this bullcrap shutdown and do your job. Go to work. Get to vote. They're lying to you. They're just fear-mongering.
Anyone think that's funny? Something to laugh at?
Yeah, I think it's funny.
Go past? I don't. 50,000 Americans die unnecessarily. Now, I know as part of this resolution that the majority leader is going to say, well, Democrats can put together their own bill, and it'll come to the
No.
floor here in the Senate for a vote.
We don't want Democrats to create no damn health care bills. They've been giving millions of dollars to rich people, lying to you that they are actually trying to tax the rich. It is bullcrap. They're going to tax the rich, and then you're going to end up paying the price for it, and the rich are still going to get their money through health care and other BS that they use to get money from us without anybody even knowing about it. Hey, William.
As everybody here knows, that is a totally meaningless gesture. You can get 100 votes here in the Senate. Won't mean anything because the House is not going to take it up, and the President of the United States certainly will not sign it. So, Mr. President, I hope that anybody here who is thinking of voting for this reconsiders goes back home and talks to their constituents and asks them what it will mean if their health care premiums are doubled or tripled. Thank you, Mr. President.
The Democratic leader.
Mr. President.
I want to point out if the Obamacare didn't give so much money to rich people, it would truly be affordable for us.
President, America is in the midst of a Republican-made health care crisis, worse than anything the American people have seen in decades. Republicans have spent the past 10 months dismantling the health care system, skyrocketing costs, and making every day harder for American families. Because of Republicans, Americans are going to suffer immensely as this health care crisis gets worse.
Have you guys ever worked for a company? I worked for Comcast for 9 years. One of the things that I have learned from working the different jobs, when I was a leasing agent, when I was a maintenance worker for apartment communities, I'm going to tell you, we were always taught that we will not blame our coworkers. We will always say, we messed up, we'll make it better. We will fix this. We are not going to blame the other side. One of the reasons why I don't like Marjorie Greene anymore is because she has been blaming Republicans for not being tougher on Democrats, and yet she doesn't include herself in there. She said, the Republicans, that's why I'm against them. And the Democrats, the Republicans, and then the Republicans say, oh, the Democrats. No. Hold some accountability. Stop blaming the other side and be like, hey, we in government, we're messing up. Then you can say, you know, because of the Democrats are doing this and we're doing this, we cannot come together to help you Americans. It's easier to just blame somebody else. But the fact is, when they take accountability and they say, listen, in the government, we're messing up in Congress. We're messing up in the Senate. And what are we going to look at as people? Hopefully, we're going to take a look at the voting. Let's go find out and see if we got a result in the voting. I don't care about Schumer here. But let's continue to listen on here. Let me refresh this real quick. There you go. So they need to stop blaming the other side. I think that that will be wise. Stop blaming the other side, and then let the people see who is voting for what, who is trying to block, who's trying to stop. You see what I'm saying? Because it doesn't help. These guys are literally, they are the big example of how this country is being led. This is why some Americans hate other Americans. These are supposed to be congressmen. They're supposed to be congressmen, and they hate each other. What do you think the rest of the people in the United States is going to do? I walked around today with my Make America Great hat at the park, at the store, at Costco, at Walmart. And a lot of people are starting to accept it. You see, this is a blue state where I live in. And I'm going to walk around with the hat as much as I want. What is the purpose of living in fear? If I cannot walk free of fear in the place where I live, am I even free? No, I don't think so. So we got to fight. As Omar says, fight, fight, fight. And I agree with that. but we got to do it smart. We can't just, be lazy and not support and not have each other's back. Like, we really need to have each other's back. Manuel Correa, I'm talking to citizens and residents, not illegal immigrants. Stay out of the conversation. We're still waiting for the votes. We'll see. They haven't given us how many is what. They normally don't do that until the end. So we'll see. Yeah, we need to learn more about politics. I'm not a politician, sir. I am a concerned American citizen that wants to make a difference in this country. Unlike you, my illegal immigrant friend, I am actually trying to do something to save this country. One day at a time. Okay? So if you don't want to do, if you don't know how to do, allow others to step up and let them do and just get the hell out the way. All right? Stay out of it. Let the grown-ups talk and figure out how we can fix this country. What can we do to make it better? And then you go gather your illegal immigrant friends and go drink some beer or something. But let Americans defend this land because it belongs to their kids and their children's children. Okay? That's where I'm at with that. Did you like that one, guys? I think that was pretty amazing. That is a lot of jewels, my friend. You got some big jewels in there, my friend. Thanks for the love, support. It's going to be a long night if we're going to be waiting for these guys to vote. Let me see here. I had something else that I was looking at as well. Let me see. I'll tell you what. We're going to go ahead and play a clip. This is a clip from her name is Brandy Cruz. She was very conflicted with, do I support Trump or do I support the other side? And sometimes she would support Trump and sometimes she wouldn't. Well, now she has taken the pills for TDS and she has freed her mind. And I'm going to tell you, she is more aggressive about trying to get to the truth. Watch this clip, guys. You won't be disappointed. I'll keep leaving the volume over there, see if I can catch something. Let me get here in picture frame so you can see her as well. You may have seen her. She's a very smart gal. She used to be an actual reporter for one of the local news channel. I don't remember which channel, but she was one of the local news channel here. The title of this is, Are Illegals Voting? Washington State Relies on the Honor System. And well, you find out why she's saying that. And you know that I've been talking about this. Check this out.
That's still an accurate interpretation, right? We're basically asking people to attest through honesty that they're a citizen of this country when they register to vote.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the front end of it, yes. But then the thing is, like, we have caught people that have done it, and there are consequences. So I hope that we don't have that situation. It's sad, but if they've
so it's not a big deal because they have caught them. How hard do they try to catch them when it benefits them? That's my question.
violate the law, they're going to be prosecuted. We have gone after people. We've gone after people that have voted the same election twice. And when I say we, I mean the county prosecutors, because it's a county prosecutor function. So it's unfortunate, but that the law is the law. And so, if you get caught, you're going to be probably prosecuted.
Wouldn't it be a whole hell of a lot easier and more secure to just require them to provide proof of citizenship before they register?
I think so.
Well, I mean, that we're following federal law, right? We're following federal law. Well, we are. The federal law says that you have to prove who you are, right? And we attest, and they have to attest at registration. Also, with the enhanced driver's license, the new.
Hold on. So they have to attest. That means that they have to just say it. I am an American citizen, and that's enough for him. That's what attest means. So Manuel Correa will probably go over there, and he's going to be a citizen, if he just says, I'm a citizen. But we know he's illegal in this country. But, guys, still show him some love.
System of getting an enhanced driver's license, you are a U.S. citizen, right? So there is.
Wait, if you have a license, you are an American citizen. You guys heard that, right? Did I hear that wrong? Let me go back a little bit.
A citizen, right? So driver's license, the new system of getting immigration, also with the enhanced driver's license, the new system of getting an enhanced driver's license, you are a U.S. citizen, right? So there is no question there.
Yeah, but not everybody has to get them. There's no mandate to get them. You might not be able to fly, but right now my driver's license in my purse is not an enhanced ID.
That's right, but there's also situations where you have citizens that just don't have access to their birth certificate. A lot, I had my mother-in-law move here in Washington State, and she didn't have her birth certificate with her, and she's a U.S. citizen, and she doesn't,
Guys, I need all of you guys that subscribe to my channel to come here to Washington State and attest that you have resided and that you're an American citizen. I'm going to gather all my compadres and amigos that just made it here not too long ago, but they speak well enough English to communicate. And I'm going to tell them, all you got to do is attest that you're an American citizen. And if you have a license, you can vote for me. And let's make Washington great again. Hey, Manuel, you might be more legal than me if you're in Mexico. But your record doesn't match mine. I'll tell you that right now. My record will put yours to shame, guaranteed 100%.
So I get what you're saying,
It
but
makes no sense.
we don't have this problem. Well, it makes no sense to you. I get it.
No, it just makes
sense to
no
a lot
sense.
of people. But if the thing is like, if you look right at the data, very few non-citizens vote, right? It's the Heritage Foundation, right? Or Institute. They're the ones that ran a study, and they found less than 50 over the course of 10 years. So if you don't want to take my word for it, then go check out this conservative think tank.
Well, I don't care if it's
tell you.
conservative or liberal. I mean, I think conservatives and liberals both have lied or been inaccurate in their interpretation of data.
Not this one.
To me, it makes no sense to me to go through all this stuff on the back end when we could just say, hey, yeah, you have to prove you're a citizen on the front end, and then we don't even have to go through any of it. You don't have to expend resources on investigations. We don't have to worry about Heritage looking at data or you looking at data or arguing with the federal government about it. It's like, no, you just prove you're a citizen to be able to register to vote. I don't understand why that's such a complicated concept.
Yeah.
Well, I guess just telling you, I don't understand why we have to go through all of that when there isn't the problem that you think there is.
Well, then
So let me just point out with this guy. Okay. So if we want to make sure that elections are legit and we're trying to avoid anyone, Democrat or Republican or whatever, anybody, if we want to avoid them, if we want to stop anybody from cheating our elections, what's the problem? Why can't you make sure that everybody can prove their citizenship? It's very simple. They don't want it. They don't want audits. They don't want to give the voter rolls to the administration, to DOJ. They're hiding a lot of stuff. And what he says, he thinks that we're stupid enough to take his word for it. He said, we've caught some people that have voted fraudulently. He doesn't say how many people were registered to vote by just simply getting a driver's license. That's scary. And the fact that he doesn't take that seriously, it tells me that he's compromised. They are suing Washington State, by the way, because of that. I guarantee you this guy right here is going to play stupid and say, I only did what they told me to do, and that was the law. It said, explain it to me. And so he's going to try to wash his hands. But after this responses that he's trying to not prove American citizenship, he is guilty. Dirty. They don't want me in office, I can tell you that right now.
And then that would prove it, right? And that's also the issue with the data sharing with the federal government, if it comes to that, is like, if what you're saying is true and we don't have a significant problem, then you could almost, give a big middle finger to the Trump administration by providing the data and then say, see, I told you so. You were just making shit up.
Then I'd be breaking two laws, right?
Yeah.
Hold on, I say you are breaking the law. You don't have to break two laws. You're breaking the law already. Instigator says, I have to prove I live in the state to get a fishing license. True. The reason why they don't want that is because they'll get caught. That's why.
Oh, well, this is quite the predicament, isn't it? then?
Right?
So here's the thing that I want you guys to think in logic. Think in logic. All right. So President Trump and most of us, we want people to prove their citizenship so that they can vote. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Okay. Now, we want to stop illegal immigration. We want to deport illegal immigrants, right? We're trying to clean up this country and want to make sure that only Americans have the right to vote, only Americans are being represented, and only Americans get to say what happens to our country. Now, on the other hand, we have Democrat politicians that, like this guy, as you can hear, here's a receipt. This guy doesn't want to release the voter rolls to DOJ because they're going to find out that they have been cheating, and he's going to try to wash his hands off of it. But who is defending illegal immigrants? The same people that don't want to have proof of citizenship to have a legal, more reliable voting election. Now, free thinker, you got to change that name. You are not a free thinker. You're a free stinker. But you got to change that name, bro. You and Manuel are us. All right, let's continue with this guy. He represents the Democratic politicians here.
So,
It's just
I mean, are you
ridiculous.
asking me to break the 1974 Privacy Act and our own state
I'm
laws?
asking you guys to use common sense and just say, hey,
Well, the common
non-citizens can
sense thing
vote.
is I have to follow the law, Brandy, so I can't do it.
There is nothing, though, and then I have to ask you about a different issue. There is nothing that would preclude the state of Washington from requiring proof of citizenship to register to vote.
Well, I mean, it has to.
There's no law.
I can't do it. It's this. The legislature has to pass a law to say that you have to, physically bring in your birth certificate, and all that kind of stuff. Now, again, the identity of a person is verified at the moment of the registration, like when you're doing your driver's license. And I'm looking forward to upgrades of the SAFE system, right? And so then we will have no question whatsoever, and I can just bounce it off that. But I'm not going to do that till I feel confident that it is a safe system.
Okay. All right. I feel like we're just leapfrogging over the most obvious solution. And as you said, the legislature would have to do it. They're not going to do it. So I don't know where we go from here.
Yeah, she's great. I think she did a good job. She did a good job. All right. Let's go ahead and show the floor. They're still thinking. You would think voting will be a lot faster. You make up your mind. You guys already know what you talked about. What is the point of discussing everything if you're just going to sit there and just twiddle your thumbs and, take your time for voting? It's not that hard. Not that hard at all. It's amazing to see these people in here still standing up for illegal immigrants. I don't understand. I really don't understand. Let's take a little quick look. Let me see. I want to see Article Declaration of Rights. Let's take a look at a section here. Check this out. This is part of the Constitution of Washington State. It's about 300 pages long. I need to read it. I haven't read the Washington State Constitution. What a shame. It's not really mandatory, or pretty much nobody cares. But it is important that we do read it. But I would just want to share a couple of things here with you guys. This is the Article 1 Declaration of Rights. The preface says, this Constitution was framed by a convention of 75 delegates chosen by the people of the territory of Washington at an election held May 14, 1889. Under Section 3 of the Enabling Act, the convention met at Olympia on the 4th day of July, 1889. On the 22nd day of August, 1889, the Constitution was ratified by the people at an election held on October 1st, 1889, and on November 11th, 1889, in accordance with Section 8 of the Enabling Act, and the President of the United States proclaimed the admission of the state of Washington into union. All political power is inherited in the people, and governments derive their just powers from the consent of the governed, and are established to protect and maintain individual rights. Supreme law of the land is the Constitution of the United States, is the supreme law of the land. What? The Constitution of the United States is the supreme law of the land. So, with that being said, the Constitution of the United States of America, it's what everybody has to follow. Now, every state has a constitution. You probably haven't even read yours either. But I think it's important to know. It says on the personal rights, it says, no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. Now, it talks about that this supreme law of the land is the Constitution of the United States of America. It is the Constitution of the American people. That's what that means. And so they're using the same part of the American Constitution that we're supposed to due process. Now, for a lot of people that like to say, oh, hey, that's right. See, we told you it has to do due process. You got to have due process. I only have one question for you. What do you think due process is going to do for illegal immigrants? Now, nobody can answer this question for some reason. Maybe Nola. Maybe Nola can. Nola, what is the purpose of giving illegal immigrants due process? What will happen to them if they get due process? Thank you for joining Patriots, because you might learn the truth here. You know it's salt water. You know it's salty. Trinity says, Manuel Correa, then why are you concerned with where Dennis was born? Riddle me that. Tell me what's going to happen to illegal immigrants once they get their due process. I love it. I haven't got one person to answer it yet. But hopefully Manuel or Nola will actually give us the answer. Okay, Real ID started years ago. How about if the government makes a citizen ID run by the government state? Actually, there is one. There is one. There is a citizen card that you can purchase, a citizenship card. And I think you're right. It should be mandatory that you have a citizenship card and your license with you at all times. I agree with that 100%. Oh man, I forgot to put the stream boss on here. You just lost that chance. Let me see. Yeah, because cutting edge is still there. We'll put it at 2,000 so that people can boot you off there faster. All right, there you go. All right, so we are listening to the sound from the Senate meeting. It's still live. The votes are not complete yet, okay? And we're reading the Constitution of Washington State. Section 4 says the right of petition and assemblage. The right of petition and of the people peacefully to assemble for the common good shall never be abridged. That is just your your First Amendment right in the Constitution. Freedom of speech, freedom to pursue liberty and life and property. Those are part of the same Constitution of the United States of America. Freedom of speech says every person may freely speak, write, and publish on all subjects, being responsible for the abuse of that right. Oh, I like that one. Hold on, essay. Let's see. Danny, thank you for the super chat, my friend. And did Danny just become? Let me see. He should have become the boss on that one, I think. Let me double check this real quick. Danny, you are the boss, my friend. And you helped this boring time to go through like a boss. because you won the prize, my friend. Like a jefe, the big boss, el patrón. Like a boss. Like el jefe, a big patron. All right, Danny is the boss of the stream tonight. Thank you for that donation, Danny. We appreciate it. Much love to you. Fantastic. Section 5, guys. You know, I'm glad I told you that I have never read the Washington State Constitution. Check this out. Section 5 of the Washington State Constitution. It says freedom of speech. Listen to this. Every person may freely speak, write, and publish on all subjects, being responsible for the abuse of that right. Oh, I'm going to run on that freedom of speech right there. Because that right there, my friends, is what I believe exactly is your freedom of speech. I'm glad I decided to read this with you guys. Isn't that fantastic? No, this is any music that I play on here, like it's just beats. I have a subscription which gives me the right to use all this music, non-copyright, in my show. So I do use money to make this show keep going, okay? So that's why I always give you guys thanks for your support. All right, let's see, Section 6, Oaths, Mode of Administering. The mode of administering an oath or affirmation shall be such as may be most consistent with a binding upon the conscience of the person to whom such oath or affirmation may be administered. Yeah, that's pretty basic. Invasion of private affairs or home prohibited. No person shall be disturbed in his private affairs or his home invaded without authority of law. Now, I do want to say this, and this might be covered on a different part of the Constitution, but it is very plain and simple there that says, no person shall be disturbed in his private affairs or his home invaded. Key words, without authority of law. Meaning, of course, you got a warrant. Well, there you go. ICE has warrants for deporting people. I don't understand why they're fighting the presidents of the United States of America, the administration, ICE, federal agents, FBI, etc., when they have that right. They have that warrant to be able to make sure that the law is being followed. I think that right there, remember, when we read this, and I could be interpreting it different, but this is what I interpret from this. Remember, we read the beginning is the supreme law of the land. The Constitution of the United States is the supreme law, right? So if we go to invasion of privacy, blah, 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 and without authority of the law, if the supreme law of the land, which is the American Constitution, is supreme above the Washington State Constitution, that tells me that the federal government is above state government. And that makes sense. That's the way it should be anyway. It makes sense. The president is the commander-in-chief. Governors, they're not presidents. In a way they are, but they're not the president of the United States of America. They are the commander-in-chief for their state. But that doesn't mean that they should be fighting the United States of America's president, because the Constitution of the United States is supreme above the Constitution of every state. I dare say every, but in this case, Washington State for sure. unless you guys know something else that I don't know. Thanks for subscribing. Who just went through? Time is on my side. Yes, it is. Thank you, brother. Sent a goat trophy. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. And man, Danny is still the stream boss. You took 5 points off his health, which that means that he's still running the show. All right, let's go to the next one. It's Section 8. Irrevocable privilege, franchise, or immunity prohibited. No law granting irrevocably no law granting irrevocably any privilege, franchise, or immunity shall be passed by the legislature. Interesting. Rights of accused persons. No person shall be compelled in any criminal case to give evidence against himself or be twice put in jeopardy for the same offense. That's the same as the American Constitution, I think. That's one of the rights that we have on there. Let's see, administration of justice. Justice in all cases shall be administered openly and without unnecessary delay. Yeah, they do that all the time, but nobody says anything about it. Here we go, religious freedom. Oh, my goodness, and here we go. Couple amendments right off the bat, it looks like. Absolute freedom of conscience in all matters of religion, sentiment, belief, and worship shall be guaranteed to every individual, and no one shall be molested or disturbed in person or property on account of religion. Well, they sure broke that one during COVID-19, didn't they? Yeah, that's interesting. Let's see. They think that we're not going to remember, but the liberty of conscience hereby secured shall not be so construed as to excuse acts of licentiousness or justify practices inconsistent with the peace and safety of the state. And this is where you need to pay attention to your Constitution, because that tells me that it doesn't matter if you're religious, you cannot come over here and impose your religion to tell Americans and the law how to behave, and you are not going to bring your own laws to the land with that religion. And as you guys already know, I'm talking about Muslims trying to build their cities here in the United States of America so that they can bring, jihad and Sharia law to the people. That religious law stays in your countries of Muslims, not here in America. Does not belong. Not even here in Washington State. I'm going to bring that one up, man, when I get up there. And I'm going to make sure that people follow that law. No public money or property shall be justified practices inconsistent with the peace and safety of the state. Got it. No public money or property shall be appropriated for or applied to any religious worship, exercise, or instruction, or the support of any religious establishment, provided, however, that this article shall not be construed as to forbid the employment by the state of a chaplain for such of the state custodial, correctional.
Mr. Johnson, aye. Mr. Lee, aye. Mr. Scott of Florida, aye.
All right, you guys heard that. This article shall not be construed as to forbid the employment by the state of a chaplain. Those, you know what a chaplain is, right? It's one of those guys that go into disaster reliefs, and they go and they pray for people, and they do what they can for spiritual support, etc. Muslims are nice people. What do you think Israel is? Christian? Muslims, there might be some good Muslims, but Islam is not a peaceful religion. Let's not get it twisted. So if some people think, so here's the thing about religion, okay? Here's the thing about religion. People think that by pretending to have faith, by being religious, they think that somehow they are holy, and they seek that attention for themselves. Just like Christians. Christians, so-called Christians, come in here and start judging me because I am very direct with people on how they're misbehaving. How you are not being a true Christian by playing one side of the truth and then believing the bad side of such truth. Meaning that there is hypocrisy in people. So you can have the word of God, which is truth, but you can interpret it to be a hypocrite. So I get people in here like this lady that likes to come into my chats. Her name is Melody, right? She likes to come in. Manuel is one of them, the illegal immigrant on my chat. He likes to come in and they try to throw religion in my face as to say I'm not a Christian because, you know, I should accept all illegal immigrants in this country. Well, this is where I separate religion from the law of the land or government. There is a federal law that we need to abide by. So I make sure that I state that. Now, if I want you to be saved, and I'm going to preach to you the good news, the gospel of Jesus Christ. But when it comes to the law, religion has nothing to do with it. Now, we know the Constitution was made under God by our Creator, and the Washington State Constitution as well was created under our universe Creator, meaning God. So when it comes to Israel, there is good people and there's bad people on every single country or religion. But see, Israel is not a religion. Islam is. And anybody that is a Muslim, listen, if you chose to be a Muslim, then you chose to stand by everything that they stand. And as we're talking throughout history, we rebuke the history of Christians, so-called Christians, when they abuse this land, etc. That is not who we are. And this is why we preach the good news and the gospel of Jesus. We are not saying that people are supposed to be punished because they're infidels, meaning that you don't follow our religion. I can come to your house, preach the gospel, and give you all these great talks. At the end of the day, you say, nah, not interested. You can walk away, no problem. When you have a Muslim country and you decide to be free, you decide to say gays for Palestine, well, they will kill you over there. They won't let you live. Islam is a religion, my friend. As a matter of fact, Islam was created by the government to oppress their people. Muslims were not created until 600 years after Jesus Christ. And what is the difference between the Bible, Christians, and Muslims? The Bible was written by witnesses of Christ. How many times has Jesus Christ ever said that he married a young underage girl, about 9 years old, 8 years old? Not once. And yet the Muslim fake religion says Muhammad, the holiest of the holiest prophets, was a pedophile, married an 8-year-old. 8 or 9, I can't remember, but it's 8 or 9 years old. Tell me what religion shines good to you. A religion that tells you that the Son of God was created through a woman, Virgin Mary, which was not seen or known by any man physically, and the Holy Spirit impregnated her. So that we will have Jesus, 100% man, by the womb of Mary. Joseph did not touch Mary until Jesus was born. And everything that they have to say, witnesses of Jesus, was how much he was full of love, how much he followed his father's law, the commandments of Moses, how much time he spent in the temple, how he started his ministry at the age of 33. He made miracles. He didn't come to change the law. He came to fulfill the law. And there's a big difference. So don't defend Muslims if you don't know anything about Muslims. Okay? If you are a Muslim, listen, that's your choice. But what I'm telling you right now is a fake religion. As simple as that. Now you can still have your freedom of religion. You can be a Buddhist and you can be all these fake religions. You get your freedom to believe what you want to believe and worship and everything. But you do not have the freedom to impose religious laws upon the people of the land. That's all I'm saying. And Muslims are not trying to just be friendly Muslims. When the moment calls for war, they are gone with us. Because who they call real Muslims are not peaceful. And they will take everybody out. All right, so there's that. All right, so let's continue here. Let's see. No religious qualification shall be required for any public office or employment, nor shall any person be incompetent as a witness or juror in consequences of his opinion on matters of religion. Nor be questioned in any court of justice touching his religious beliefs to affect the weight of his testimony. The Amendment of 88, 1993, House Joint Resolution number 42, blah, 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 approved November 2nd. Notes, the Amendment 34, absolute freedom of conscience is in all matters of religion, sentiment, belief, and worships shall be guaranteed to every individual, and no one shall be molested or disturbed or in person or in property or account of religion, but the liberty of conscience with the peace and safety of the state. No public money or property shall be appropriated for applied to any religion, worship, exercise, or instruction, or the support of any religious establishment, provided, however, that this article shall not be construed as to forbid the employment by the state of a chaplain, blah, blah, blah. And then the amendment here, nothing really changes, to be honest. Absolute freedom, nothing else. All right, I believe the Constitution should be amended again, and that is so that they can tax the church. That's right. I believe the church shall pay taxes. Now, that's not something that I'm going to run on, but if we fix everything else, I will mention that. I think the church, sometimes churches make millions of dollars, and by making millions of dollars, they should be paying the taxes of a millionaire. Church organizations should no longer get away with being tax exempt because there has been way too much abuse. There has been so much money going into religious organizations, and because of that, they haven't been taxed. And I think that if any business can be taxed, so can the church. And that's just where I'm at with that. All right, Section 12, special privileges and immunities are prohibited. No law shall be passed granting to any citizen, class of citizens, or corporation other than municipal privileges to immunities which upon the same terms shall not equally belong to all citizens or corporations. Here's your favorite habeas corpus. The privilege of the writ of habeas corpus shall not be suspended unless in case of rebellion or invasion. The public safety requires it. And ladies and gentlemen, that's where I will cancel habeas corpus because of the invasion of millions of illegal immigrants that came to this country. The Constitution is on my side. Oh, yes, it is. All right, excessive bail, fines, and punishment. Excessive bail shall not be required. Excessive fines imposed, nor cruel punishment inflicted. Sure. No conviction shall work corruption of blood, nor forfeiture of state. Private property shall not be taken for private use, except for private ways of necessity, and for drains of flumes or ditches on or across the lands of others for agricultural, domestic, or sanitary purposes. No private property shall be taken or damaged for public or private use without just compensation having been first made or paid into court of the owner, and no right-of-way shall be appropriated to use of any corporation other than municipal until full compensation, therefore, be first made in money or blah, blah, blah. That's just real estate stuff. We don't care about that. All right, let me see what else we have. We have, let's see, Constitution mandatory. Let's see. Standing army, no standing army. No. Rights reserved. The enumeration in this constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny others retained by the people. All right. All that stuff is boring. Oh my gosh. I got to read that. 300 pages I have to read, and I will do it, but I will not bore you guys with that. That guy's falling asleep over there on the chair. But we will do our best to get caught up with it so you guys can know that we're going to do a good job. Plus, I believe there's going to be a good team, a legal team that's going to know all the stuff that I don't have to know. But I like being informed, and I like to be able to speak to things, so I will actually study the Washington State Constitution. William, speak louder for the slow folks in the back. Let's go ahead and I'm getting peaked on that one right there. So I turned it up a little bit, but it's already peaking. Let me see if maybe Eric adds up to it. We'll see how that goes. Let me see. For those folks that are deaf, let me see. I'm getting peaked on that one right there. So I turned it up. That's pretty loud, my friend. I don't think I can go any louder than that. I think that'd be crazy. Can we get to 50 likes? Freshly, you are appreciated. Let's see, Trinity, what's going on here? Nola says, well, you're in the right country. Good thing you don't live in the UK. Oh, Nola is Ukrainian? That makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. Whatever that means. All right, see, misinterpreting the Constitution doesn't mean you're informed. Oh, yeah, Pama, go ahead and tell me what was misinterpreted. By the way, no libtards are allowed to ask questions until you answer this question. What is due process going to do for illegal immigrants? What is due process going to do for illegal immigrants? Oh, man, somebody sent the wrong bots in here. These guys are in the wrong chat. They probably thought they were talking to somebody in Russia. He doesn't understand English, apparently. No, Nola, the cartels are not the only traffickers. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But I will say having open borders helps them a lot. A heck of a lot more. And I believe that somewhere along the line, I'm sure some politicians are allowing for some drugs to still get through. And that's why we cannot be soft. We have to make audits and we have to have investigations, etc. The problem with that is, of course, that if people start making fake evidence and do stuff like that, I mean, the world is going to do what the world's going to do regardless. But I think that we should at least try to hold each other accountable for stuff. So in the same token, you know, if you're in government, you should have everything registered of where you've been, have the whole agenda laid out. You got to make sure there's alibis for everything and, you know, be transparent. So that way you don't get caught with your pants down. That's what I'm trying to say. Trinity says, exactly, Dennis. Thank you for saving me all that typing. You're welcome, sis. You're welcome. You're welcome. Linda, let's see what Linda has to say. Here we go. Oh, you have to wait. Liberty for All says, nothing is just a process. They have a right under our laws, but sometimes undocumented get lucky. Interesting. So, like I have said before, right, about illegal immigration, I am all for migrants, guys. I am all for migrants. As a matter of fact, I told this story before. If you haven't heard it, here it is. There was a guy, a Mexican older guy, that was a farmer in Hawaii. President Trump, during his first administration, deported this man. Now, what I have heard about it was that this man was actually very active with the community. He was a big helper, a big giver. And by those accounts right there, I don't know if he had any, criminal, record behind or anything like that. But by having those few qualities of he has his own business, he's giving into the community, people love him and he's doing good. If he's not doing any criminal activity, if he doesn't have no DUIs, nothing like that, I think it was a mistake to deport him. I think that they got rid of somebody that was probably very proud to be part of the United States of America. Now I don't know that, but what I'm guessing. So I felt that he shouldn't have been deported. But if it was illegal, the law is the law, right? That's just kind of how I see it. But I think that there's going to be something that we can do for a lot of undocumented, but it's not going to be for the ones that you think. I believe every country. Hold on, let me look at the stat correctly because I don't want to butcher the information here. Give sec. I believe it's 675,000 people that we are to allow in this country. Let me see how many people. Let's see if I can get some info here, guys. Yeah, okay, this is about right. All right, check this out. The number of migrants allowed to become U.S. residents is capped at 675,000 people per year. Pay attention. Under the Immigration and Nationality Act, which includes 480,000 family-sponsored visas and 140,000 employment-based visas, plus 55,000 diversity visas, that's how you get the number. However, the total number of permanent residents can be higher because immediate relatives of U.S. citizens who are a category of family-sponsored immigrants are not subject to the numerical limit. Does that make sense to you? So just to put it more plainly, right, for you, if you're a citizen, which this is why illegal immigrants make anchor babies, because once you're 18, you can request your parents to become residents, and then eventually they'll probably become citizens. But the way that it works is that if you are you just became an American citizen, okay? You can bring family members, you can sponsor family members, and they can also get a green card. But per the allotted numbers, 675,000 people every year get the privilege to become green card holders. Now, I will say this, it is a privilege. It's not their right. Even if you have a citizen sponsoring you, it's still not your right. It's still a privilege. And if you lie anywhere on that application, it can be revoked. You lose that privilege and you get deported without re-entry ever into the country. If you are a citizen, you just became a citizen after having a green card, like myself. If you became a citizen and you lied on the application, like Mandami or Mankami did, right? When they investigated and they find out that you lied in your application for citizenship, it will be nulled. They will remove your privilege and you will get deported, which I know Mandani should be deported. But that's another story. He defends the Mahmoud guy that was over there causing trouble in the university with all these people while he has a temporary visa to be here. I think it was a visa. Yeah, I think it was a visa, student visa. Well, in his application, he lied and said he wasn't part of any of those groups, and yet he was supporting Hamas. His visa should be null. No green card should be given to this guy, and he should be deported immediately. Those are the terms when people are getting green cards and citizenships. The people that don't follow this law, including veterans, people that have served in the military and they did stuff that they're not supposed to, or they turn against the country or are here illegally, well, they don't get that privilege. You see what I'm saying? Like if they're here legally, they're migrants that are going to be living here permanently. They can serve in the military, and I believe that they can gain citizenship through that. But if you're illegal and you enlist in the military so that you can become legal, it doesn't work that way. You're still illegal. It doesn't matter if you grab a weapon and you went to war. It doesn't matter. You don't get to be legalized by that. You have to be legal. And people don't like that rule, but it is the truth. It is a law. It is the rule. Even if you're a veteran and you didn't become a citizen or a resident legally, you will be deported. And that's what I've seen, because here in Washington State, I had to look it up because I saw veterans were standing out there with signs saying that they were being deported, etc. And I'm just like, wait a minute, why? And then I start digging into it, and well, that's why. If they chose not to be here legally, they'll still get deported. Doesn't matter how many times they were deployed. You get deported because you were illegal. There was an American citizen, fake American citizen, was American citizen for decades. And then they found out that he lied on the application. And then all of a sudden, they took his citizenship away. They annulled it. I think he was I want to say he was a son of a diplomat. I think that's what it was. Don't quote me. But I think he was a son of a diplomat. And when they found out that he was now in our time, well, now he got deported after being called an American citizen for decades. It is the rules. It is the law. Nothing we can do about it. Hey, Ken, how are you? Time on my side. How are you, brother? I didn't say hello to you guys, man. I'm sorry, guys. My mind is thinking about the votes. I want to see if they reopen the government. But at least I'm kind of on point, because I said 675,000 people yearly are allotted to become residents in this country. Now, you might think, well, why only 675,000 people? This is a big country. Yeah, there's also a lot of desert and a lot of land that we're not using for any type of good benefit for the rest of the people. Not everybody wants to live in certain states because of the quality of life or the lack of entertainment, right? So with that being said, let me read a couple of comments here. I know Freshly's here. South Cal, you're in the wrong chat. This is Americans only. Oh, man, unless you're supporting us. Okay, here we go. Manuel, we're going to give Manuel one more chance. Let's see. Manuel says, all right, that's not too bad. I'll let you get away with that one. I'll let you get away with it. Dennis trying hard to be like Trump. Man, to be like a real American patriot, that, my friend, by itself, it is a privilege, and I am honored. It's about time you give me a compliment. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So-called clowns all day, he says. They tried to deport the guy for protesting a foreign country. You talk about the guy that I just mentioned. What was his name that I just said? Mangudi. I forgot his name already. Mandani he's popping up all over the place now. Mahmoud. I think that was the guy's name. Yeah, so he's a foreigner, comes to the United States of America with a privileged visa to study and to make something of himself. And instead of taking advantage of that, he decides to feel righteous and starts protesting on the streets of the country that gave him a privilege to be here. And one of the things that he cannot do is what he did. Now, a lot of people will say, well, he was just using his freedom of speech. No. Residents and citizens have freedom of speech. Everybody else, you don't have every right that Americans and residents have. You see, citizens have every single right. Residents have every right except being called one of the people, which means that they don't have the right to vote. Now, they're still included in the Constitution, according to me, because if you're a resident, and you have a child here, that child is an American. If you are illegal, that child is in the nationality of where you come from. So you don't have rights like Americans or residents. You need to be here. You're a visitor. You have no rights. You behave. You respect the law. And you give honor to the people, the great people of the United States of America. Visitors don't have rights except enjoy yourself. That's it. You don't have the freedom of speech. Man, that's horrible. I almost sounded like a dictator right there. I don't know. I'm gonna have to read that. I'm gonna have to dig that one in. I don't know. I'm biased on that one, but I'm in between. I apologize. I don't know. I just part of me just wants to just say nothing for these visitors. They might have some type of right, but I think all the rights are given to the American people because it's called the United States of America's Constitution. That's how I feel about it, and that's why I talk the way I talk. Dutch Kid, what's going on? Is Trinity is a dude, then I'm a lady. No, Trinity is definitely a lady, and a very beautiful and smart lady at that. You guys have no idea what you're talking about. I know Trinity. She is gorgeous. Very smart, very wise, great mother, and, well, her daughter takes after her, and I hear she has a great son-in-law. So that's a good thing to hear. All right, let's see. Here we go. Jean Prophet says the president pardoned, Changpeng Zhao and the co-founder of the world's largest crypto exchange. Yes. See, pardons are given to criminals that, well, criminals because they have been convicted. But pardons are given by the president for a reason. Only the president can pardon them. So we are not going to question that, my friend. How about you question a president that pardons people before they commit a crime? How about that one? Question that. Question a president that gives a pardon to people that have not committed a crime. Now, if a person has been convicted of a crime, whether it was just or unjust, it doesn't matter. If the president forgives him, by the way, if he pardoned P. Diddy, I will lose it. I will move. I will be doing my broadcasting from out of this country. I will not live in the United States of America. That's how confident I am that he's not going to. But everybody else, the president can pardon whoever he wants. Whether by personal acknowledgement of the person or by recommendation of the staff that he trusts. Now, again, the pardon is because somebody was convicted of something, he pardoned them. Okay, it's called a presidential pardon for a reason. But if you don't question the president that pardoned people that did not commit a crime, so that they wouldn't get investigated, I think the question becomes null. All right, Berniel is in the house. I just remember, I got to find this video. Berniel, this is just for you, bro. Give me a second. I got to go find it now. All right. Hey, and thank you for the $50 super chat early, brother. I know I was on my phone. It's different when I'm on my phone, but I appreciate it. Let me see. Videos. Here we go. Come on, where are you? No, not that one. Doggone it, where'd it go? Oh, bro, I'm trying to show you this video, man. Come on. Oh, please don't tell me I deleted it. Oh, man, don't tell me I deleted it. Unbelievable. Man, I had something for you. What the heck happened? Oh, maybe it's on a different drive. Give sec. I will find it. I have to show you this because this was made for you. All right, let's see. Yeah, let's see. Come on, I'm almost there. I need to move this to a different folder. I don't know why I have it in there. Yes, it's here. Here you go, buddy.
Strip you in 10 seconds.
This is for you right here, Berniel. Check it out. Just a small scene for you.
Flat. Usually I'm not down around here myself, but I wanted to catch that show. This stuff is like gold around here, you know. Hey, Snake, when'd you get in? I didn't even know they caught you. Oh, Snake Plissken in my cab? Wait till I tell Eddie. Hey, hang on, Snake. Strip you in 10 seconds.
That's it. That's all I have for you, bro. You're probably like, Mom, man, that was it? That's all you have me all in suspense for that? There's a reason why I did that, okay? That's for you, Berniel, because you mentioned Escape from New York. Sending Phoenix says, I'm donating this on behalf of Eden Star, your biggest cheerleader. Oh, how sweet. Hey, wait a minute. Who's Eden Star? Oh, man, it better not be some type of setup, man. But thank you anyways. Guys, let me see. I think I have... Let me see. Which one is it? I think it's the right one. Hold on.
From time to time. Congress, according
I know it's Dalabama, guys, but bear with me. Let me see if this is the clip that I want to show you.
to James Madison, at its best, would serve as a rival to the executive branch. But unfortunately, our House Republican colleagues haven't followed the vision of this Madisonian version of democracy, because you have consistently proven to be nothing more than a rubber stamp for Donald Trump's extreme agenda. And the American people are paying attention.
Yes,
The
we
American
are.
people are paying attention. So I think that when the story is told of the 119th Congress, when the votes are ultimately cast on that first Tuesday in November next year, that this day may very well turn out to be the day that House Republicans lost control of the United States House of Representatives. Because the American people are paying attention. They are smarter than you think, and they know when they are being hurt. They know when their interests are not being served. And they know when they have been lied to and deceived.
But do they, though? Because I don't think so. Ascending Phoenix. Hey, thank you very much for the super chat, my friend. And if you guys didn't know what that means, it's, well, you know, as you look at the numbers on the chat here, you will notice that we have a new boss on the stream chat. Wait a minute. Eden Star is very triggered by you, but is engaging heavily. So here's another fiver, like a jefe, el patrón, big boss. Like a boss, like a big jefe, el big kahuna. That was awesome, dude. Thank you for that. Thank you for the super chats, guys. Berniel says, el jefe. All right, guys, so I want to show you this. There is another clip, but this is not the one. But I want to show you. Well, the reason why he talks like that and the way that he pauses is because he's trying to think. He's trying to make up something or trying to remember what he wants to say. So he has a lot of pauses on there because he's making shit up. And that's what you do. Now, if you catch me do it, and this will be the one thing that I can tell you is going to happen. I'm thinking about what I'm going to say next. Now, you guys don't know this, but I think 100% I think in Spanish. And every time that I have to say a word in English, I am thinking it in Spanish and I have to translate it for me to say the word in English. And so a lot of times you'll catch me mispronouncing words or putting things backwards. It's not dyslexia. It's just English is my second language and it is what it is. But the point is, imagine if I didn't have to do all that work just to speak English, if I can just speak English directly. I can do a lot more with my brain power to be translating or to even speak even better than I normally am speaking to you. So there's that. Thanks for the subscribe. Did we hit the 1600 yet? Let me take a look here. Let's see if we got 1600 yet. Bam! We got 10,605 subscribers. You guys rock. And for all those haters that are here, thank you so much for being here. It is very nice to celebrate amongst my friends. But it's even nicer when I have enemies on the chat that I can celebrate. Oh, man, it's so good. A liar is what it is, says Scrum. Salt, it's okay, bro. Obviously, your native tongue will be a go-to. I appreciate it, Salt. Sicano says, but Hakeem is translating from stupid. Ah, man, I should have pre-read that so I didn't have to laugh so loud. But that was great, bro. That was great. Hey, how many likes do we have? Can we level up in these likes as Berniel is mentioning here? Let's see, what do we got? Oh, man, we only got 66? Man, come on, guys. All right, so let's go ahead and let me see what else is going to say here. Hold on.
You see, they know.
Oh, by the way, I stayed through the whole 3.5 hours live when they were doing this, so I can pre-record it.
Know that Congress was meant to be a separate and co-equal branch of government. We don't work for President Trump. We don't work for J.D. Vance. We don't work for Elon Musk.
They work for themselves. Because they don't work for the American people. Let me just tell you that. This guy, what a loser. All right, we still haven't got the results of this votes. Man, these guys take forever, man. And they complain about how long it takes to do all of this. They complain about how long it takes. Check this out. Bam! That's right. Hey, Liptards, take a look at that picture there. Just for you. Enjoy. Enjoy. Bam, bam, bam. Guys, excuse me, but I'm going to go ahead and use it for President Donald Trump for 23 seconds, okay? Because this man... Wait, what? Hold on. I think he took over on that one. Let me see. I was going to play that for Trump, but hold on. Yeah, Zombie Z06 took the stream chat boss lead. And with that, you know what that means, guys. It has to happen. You are, sir, just such a screen bed and liked. Pop it like el jefe. This one has a double meaning because they got a big patron on that photo right there. And also Zombie just became the stream boss of the night. I think a couple of those liptards left with that finger for them. Nobody can be more Christian than that one person that tells the truth, no matter what other people think about it. You got to stand for your country. Fight, fight, fight. Like hell. Fantastic. Thank you, man. Thank you for the support. Thanks for the love. And you are the king, my friend. Brian says he was talking to Alabama on that call. Oh, man. You know what? There's another one. Hold on. Let me see. Now, the reason why I had that clip, I can't believe I didn't grab it. Hold on. Let me see. I'm not sure if it's this one, to be honest. No, that's not going to be it. All right. So here's the thing. I covered the big, beautiful bill, right? Long time ago when Alabama was making that filibuster for the one big beautiful bill. And one of the things that I caught on to him was the part where he came in and he started talking about law-abiding immigrants, that this bill is going to take away the right to allow law-abiding immigrants to receive care. And maybe some of those law-abiding citizens will give out remittances to their families up abroad. These law-abiding immigrants, by the way, are illegal immigrants. These are what we call mojados. They are illegal immigrants, and what he's talking about is that they will be kicked off on the big beautiful bill from health care. Now, that also includes a lot of people that have sought asylum for many, many years ago, and they are still on it, and they're not supposed to be. So there's a lot of changes on there, and then the fact that he wants illegal immigrants to be sending money to other countries, which I'm okay with, guys. I'm okay with it. But the problem is this: when you have billions of dollars leaving the United States economy, it's money that we're losing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, imagine you are a franchise owner. You hire me to be a manager, right? I'm going to manage this franchise for you. I'm going to run employees. I'm going to make sure everything is done the way it's supposed to be. And then I am going to do this. I got family. I got cousins. I got friends. Hey, listen, why don't you stop on by? I got some free merch that I can give you. Don't worry, I'm the manager. And I start giving away shirts. The boss, the CEO, the owner, you expect me to make a profit in this store. Now, we're making a little bit of profit, but you, the owner, should actually have a lot more money because there was a lot of merch that can be sold. But because I wasted it, I gave it away. You didn't make that money. I still get my salary. The employers still get their salary or their money. But you, the boss, the owner, you lose out on a lot of wealth because of people like me. Now, people like, Manuel's still here, bro. Manuel, you have some thick skin, bro. I have talked to this illegal immigrant so many times, guys. He is one tough cookie. I love Manuel, man. Manuel is probably a badass in person. And speaking of Manuel, the illegal, I went to Walmart with my Make America Great hat again. You guys saw it earlier, right? Oh, and by the way, I appreciate what the hell happened to my sponsor hat? Oh man, oh my bad. I think I lost your hat. I need another one. I need another hat from the sponsor of the show. I'm just joking. Don't have an official sponsor. Liberty for All says, I'm pro-country now. Can you tell me what's Trump's health plan when he takes Obamacare out? I'm only asked because I didn't see nothing on his first 4 years, and now I still can't see it. Have you? I didn't pay attention to his first term on if he had any health care. I do want to tell you, if I remember correctly, I think he did have one, and they rejected it and kept the Obamacare. I believe he was trying to pass one. Now, the reason why some idiots on the Republican side, they betrayed Donald Trump, by the way, on his first term. I don't think I forgot about that. But the reason why Democrats are defending the Obamacare, you have to understand this. A lot of people like Marari probably doesn't even know. Millions of dollars that are supposed to go to American beneficiaries are actually going to rich people. I believe there was millions paid, hundreds of thousands paid daily to these certain people. These are rich people. The ones that they keep telling you, that the Democrats keep telling you they're going to tax. Tax the rich, tax the rich. That's who they say they're going to tax, but that's not true. They're going to tax the rich people they don't like. They're not going to tax the people that they like. And when they tax them, they're going to end up being like Bill Maher. Bill Maher was asked by O'Reilly if he was going to move from California because the taxes are crazy. Wait, California or New York? California, right? Where the hell is Bill Maher? I think it's California. He said, no, I'm not going to move. Even if it's very expensive. I said, this is where I live. This is what I love. Now, the reason why he says that, you guys know that he has a podcast channel that is very popular. He's making money. He's making millions on that by himself. And he's making millions from the network. So the guy is making so much money, he doesn't care to lose 50, 60% of it. He doesn't feel the burden. Because, let's be honest, he's not paying the employees. The network is. Now, he might pay some employees, for his show, etc., which is great. But I can tell you, thank you, Ken. I figured it was California. But I don't know. I think O'Reilly's from New York, or New Jersey or something like that. That's probably, I confused it because they were in the show together. And, that's just how it is. People that make millions and millions, and even if they have to pay taxes, right, on those millions, once they pay that money, they still got millions of dollars left. Like if you look at, for example, Robert De Niro, that he's gone crazy, right? This guy's made hundreds of millions of dollars. He's probably made billions by now, right? Who knows? Maybe I'm exaggerating. But he paid his taxes. He still has hundreds of millions of dollars. He's never going to go hungry. Other people are going to go hungry. So you have to look at it that way. If we don't, then we're never going to really understand how politicians and movie stars, millionaires, billionaires can say, I don't care about this because, well, let's be honest, it doesn't affect them. But you know what does affect me? Not to let you guys know that Liberty for All has taken the stream bus of the chat. Hit it! Good night, Berniel. Have a good night, brother. We appreciate you being here. Have a good night. Take care. Now, the biggest problem that that Bill Maher had was that Elon Musk is about to make $1 trillion, and he says no man should be allowed to make $1 trillion. I don't know where to go with that one, guys. Why the hell do you care? If you didn't know that he made $1 trillion, would it really affect your life? If you didn't know that there was billionaires in this country, would it really affect your life? Let's take a look. Liberty for All, another super chat, and says, no. I didn't ask you about someone else. I asked you about Trump health plan, But I get it. Others are the buzz, but not Trump. No. I believe Trump had, I just can't exactly say it because I don't remember. It was so long ago now. But I believe he had a proposition for a health care plan, and they denied it and kept Obama's health care plan. Now, President Trump also has said that if they reopen the government, he's going to bring a health care plan that is going to benefit Americans. Now, right now, what he has said is he wants the benefits right now, what they're voting for, which, by the way, they haven't finished the vote. I still hear silence. Yep. The Democrats don't want to vote because what he wants is for that money to go to actual people so that they can go buy their health care. Meaning that they can also buy private health care themselves, meaning that those people that were making hundreds of thousands of dollars on Obama's health care, and I'm not talking about citizens or patients, I'm talking about people that have nothing to do with us. This is just people making their money through healthcare, just like big pharma guys, right? They said, "Oh no, we can't bring drug prices down. Prescription drugs, that's the price. That's the price." But never did they once tell us that we were paying $8,000 here for some medicine when somebody was paying $450 in another country. How many times did you guys hear that from Democrats whenever they brought up the big pharma issue? Not once did they tell us, "Hey, listen, you guys, if you guys go to Tijuana for $50, you can get a medicine that costs you over here $600. Not once did they tell you that we are overpaying. They didn't care. They didn't care because they were getting paid by big pharma. They were getting big kickbacks. Remember when Bob Kennedy was on his hearing? This Democrat going off on him, and he has said, "Wait a minute. What are you talking about? You got $870,000 from Big Pharma. What are you talking about?" "Well, not just us, some Republicans too." Ain't nobody said Republicans are clean and they're honest politicians. They're just as bad as the Democrat politicians. But the difference is that President Trump is keeping them in check. And so far, President Trump has been winning. So, yes, I believe President Trump has a health care plan to propose, but these morons need to up in government. They got a couple of months for them to figure things out. And now remember, the only reason why we were forcing to get the one big beautiful bill to come through is because we were going to get an increase of taxes up to 47%. Imagine paying 47% increase of taxes after the end of this year. How would you like those apples? You would have been pissed. You would have been pissed. It's not cool. So the one big beautiful bill is doing a good thing. I believe it's doing a good thing. There's a lot of things that are going to be kicking in next year. For example, one of them is going to be if you are purchasing a vehicle and it was made in America, you will be able to deduct up to $10,000 of the interest of that loan. That sounds very nice. I like that. I can't wait to put that to the test. And if it's a lie, I'll let you guys know. But we'll see what happens with that. Also, there's going to be no taxes on tips. Now, I heard different things. As far as I know, all the waitresses and all these people that collect tips in the small businesses will keep those tips free of tax. There's also no tax on overtime. And the one thing that is confusing in the no tax and overtime is that you have to look at it this way. If you work an hour of overtime, let's say, for example, here in Washington State, okay, you work 40 hours a week. If you work an extra hour in the week, you get paid for that hour, but you also get paid half of that hour. And that you get taxed on. So when they say no tax on overtime, that means that the no tax is going to be on the half part of that 1 hour overtime, because technically that 1 hour is still going to be taxed at the same rate. Okay? So people don't understand that part. If you didn't understand, let me know. Okay? Now there's employees like, let's say, at Boeing. The employees at Boeing, once they get 40 hours a week, every hour after that is overtime. When they work in the weekend, or a Sunday, I believe it is, it becomes double time and a half. Now, if the weekend turns out to be one of those holiday weekends, they get triple time and a half. meaning that they still get the 1 hour regular paid taxes, and now they got, because it's triple double, now they get no taxes on the double and maybe triple time of that. So 2.5 times, okay? That's how that goes. I wish I could explain it better, but that's how I understand it. And until next year, we won't be able to see, how those taxes are going to come about. What was the other thing? Also, and I don't know if you guys are senior citizens on this chat, are they taking taxes off your Social Security right now if you're getting Social Security? If they are, that means that it's not going to be into effect until next year. So 2 more months of payments and you get taxes taken out. But after that, you are not supposed to be getting taxes out. And let's not forget, all that we're talking about right now is going to come into effect in 2026. But if you have been working as a waiter, as a server, and you'll be getting tips, you've been taxed this year on tips, but it's going to be retrofit. That means that any taxes that they took off of you for tips, they're going to give you back that refund. Now, the other thing that they're talking about also, because of these tariffs, are bringing revenue in and all the investments that are coming in. They're looking at giving every American citizen a $2,000 payback check, so to speak. And that's revenue that comes into your house free. Thank you to the tariffs that have allowed us to make deals across the world. That sounds good to me, I think. I think that's pretty good. Now, with that being said, let's not forget, this guy's filibuster, thank you, love, they filibuster for hours about no passing the big, beautiful bill. Well, they voted, they lost, and that is why they shut down the government right now. This is their bitch move. They shut down the government because they lost. Now, they think that they're smart, but we're not stupid. The reason why they shut the government now is because of the elections. And a lot of Republicans, even Republicans on our side, have actually changed their mind. I'm not going to lie, maybe some of them have changed their mind about President Trump, and they do blame him, because after so many times of hearing Trump's fault, Trump's fault, Trump's fault, Trump's fault, some people will believe it eventually because they're weak-minded. But the fact is that these people lied to us, shut down the government because of the election time. And you know what Chuck Schumer proposed? I got 2 things. I have something to propose to you. How about we open the government again, and we'll vote on an extension for 1 more year. Why do you think he makes that proposal? Why do you think? Let me tell you for right now, not for 1 second do I believe that Democrats didn't have a plan B. Not 1 second. Not 1 second. Moment. There you go. Yeah. Not 1 second would I believe that Democrats didn't have a plan B. Because what they have is says this, okay, you know what? We're going to shut down the government, but we got to have a backup plan. What's going to happen if this doesn't work? Super chat from Liberty, what you got? What's the question? I've read the no tax on overtime and tips. Trust the IRS page, and the no tax on tips or overtime is not 100%. 0 is deductible. No. It's not going to be deductible. They got to pay you back. It's refundable. So next year, when you get tips, you know how normally you go and sign gratuity, right? 18%. Well, that's what calculates the taxes that they're going to charge for the 18%. That's how they get the amount. Oh,
Mr. Cornyn, aye.
Nothing happened. Somebody farted and they started clapping, but nothing happened. All right, so what's going to happen is next year is when you should start seeing that people that have tips are not going to be taxed. So there's nothing to deduct. The only deduction that I'm talking about is on the car. Remember, the interest on the loan of a car if it was American made. So the question about that is like how much of that, because some of the American made cars have ordered parts from China and they have imported. So that's the one thing that, I don't have everything on because of that. But that's what was told in the big beautiful bill. Other than that, once the next year starts, we should not be seeing anybody getting tips, getting charged taxes on their tips. But this year's is retrofit, meaning that they will get that money back. Now, it might not be the IRS, but they should be getting that money back. We'll have to find out. I guess we'll have to find out next year, see what happens. But I do know that next year they won't take it off. All right, here we go, guys.
On this vote, the yeas are 60 and the nays are 40. 3/5 of
Government's
the
open.
Senate duly chosen and sworn, having voted in the affirmative. The motion upon reconsideration is agreed to.
Government's open. 60 yeas and 40 nays. Ladies and gentlemen, the government is officially open. Now, I believe that they still have one more vote, but I think it's irrelevant. I think it's done. Am I right? Does anybody agree with that assessment? Not yet? There's one more, right? Saltwater says it's the deductible on taxes. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Remember that is one of the things that the Big Beautiful Bill had put in, but they did make a lot of amendments from what I heard before they actually signed and approved it. So there you go. They're not going to veto, so let's just celebrate with that.
It's me here, kid.
Manuel Correa, you haven't even read the damn bill. Stop acting like you know what you're talking about. Not true. And today, my friend, we rejoice. That's what I think. Oh, fantastic. That's some good news, man. Very happy about that. Welcome in, sensible thinkers. Double tap screen for an easy like. Man, I can't believe I didn't get 100 today. How come we didn't get 100 likes? Am I gonna have to start sticking up for some illegal immigrants up in here? Maybe Manuel Correa will be finally happy if I start saying some negative things. If I start lying to the people, he will probably be happy about it. All right, guys. Well, I think our let's see. Well, let's wait a little bit. I don't think he's gonna veto, but he'll be stupid if somebody vetoes this thing. But I believe that there's no veto. Now, if it was over, they will be closing everything up already. But we'll see what happens here. And when they give us the okay, then we could go ahead and close out this night. Because today is my day off. And you guys are taking advantage of that. Dennis says, everything you say are lies. Thank you, Melody. I was wondering where you were. You were hiding in the background. Hiding in the shadows like the demons that pretend to be righteous and people of light. Yes, I understand, Melody. Man, I feel bad for your kids, for your kid and your grandkids. Remember this, Dennis. Trump will never gonna sign an extension for the Obamacare. Hell no. Hell no. This doesn't. The Obamacare doesn't help the American people. We can't afford that shit. You know that already. And the reason why they wanted him, what they wanted this to pass for one more year. Thank you, Renee. Have a good night. For one more year is, why do you think, what happens in 1 year? What happens in 1 year from now? Yeah. What happens in 1 year from now? Once they come in and those new seats are on there, now they're going to start blocking Trump from not being able to do some of the stuff that he's going to want to do. This is why Trump says, nuke the filibuster. Because that way, when the House and the Senate start passing things through, like right now, within the next 12 months, they can't stop anything. And everything that Trump and the administration says will be 100%, well, 99.9% guaranteed to pass. I think that's why they're trying to make them wait one more year, because they know they got a few extra seats in their chamber. What they don't understand is they think that these guys are faithful and they're loyal to the Democratic Party, but the way that they have been treating their own Democrat colleagues, I wouldn't be surprised if other Democrats joined Republicans when it came to voting for bills to pass to fix this country. That's just what I think. That's just my understanding. That's my prediction. But if you don't believe me, I'm sorry for you, but that's what I think. I think that midterms is coming up in 1 year, and yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. They're going to try to push their agenda, and as Gavin Newsom is already saying, you know, let's take back our country. Take back our country. Bitch, it's our country. The fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about? Let's take back our country. This is our country. We have our country. We're taking it back from where? From criminals like you. We are celebrating. We're finally being respected again throughout the whole globe. We're getting lots of deals, lots of investments, agreements that's going to happen in the next 3 to 10 years. A lot of money coming in, 13 trillion. Imagine how much money we're going to make every single year because of the tariffs, because of the way that we have been managed to make some fair trading deals, fair trading negotiations, so that America is going to have money, positive money coming in. And if we allowed these corporations, big businesses here in the States to have, this is one thing that I don't understand about these stupid politicians, Democrat governments, and all these other people that want to tax the mess out of corporations. This is what I don't understand. Let me read this chat. Hopefully I don't forget what I was going to say. Thank you, Liberty, for the super chat. And I think nobody's able to take you from that throne, bro. I will take on any day for any illegals who are working and contributing to our country versus any lazy American citizens who is waiting for EBT or welfare. Touche. Touche. Very shamefully, but touche. I agree with that statement. Sad, sucks, but I agree. What a shame. Well, I'm glad that there's more Americans that work than that are lazy. So we'll give him that part. Let's see. Okay, so where was I? I told you I was going to forget. Tell you this. How does it make sense? Check this out. All right. I'm a big corporation, okay? You are in need of me. You are in need of me. And, well, I want to come and do business in your town. Oh, yeah? Well, what are you going to bring to the table? Well, hey, listen, I'm going to need at least 20,000 employees. Whoa, okay, all right. And what's the pay? Well, it's going to be at least $20 an hour. 20,000 employees, $20 an hour. That's not enough. We need you to make that $25 an hour. Okay. $25 an hour. All right. Yeah, well, let's do it. So, what about taxes? Well, you guys are going to make this much money. We are going to tax you this much. And then there's a regulation tax. And then there is a quarter tax. And there is a, what do we call this? I don't know. Some other tax. And the corporation is like, wait a minute. So you're telling me I got to pay life insurance? I got to pay for this? I got to pay for that? I'm bringing you 20,000 jobs. $25 an hour to start. I'm bringing this over here. And you know how much I got to spend to make this happen? I got to spend hundreds of millions of dollars. I got to spend $1 billion to make this happen. And then the government here is stupid enough to say, well, I guess you don't belong here. Now tell me, what sense does that make? Either you have nothing, or You have a corporation that's going to bring you 20,000 jobs at $25 an hour, and all you got to do is cut some regulation. Regulations are money. Cut some taxes and incentivize the corporations. If they pay more, then you pay less taxes. The government has to do that. Now, why would that make sense? Because all those employees are now going to be able to pay the rent. Now they're going to be able to not depend on welfare. Now they're going to be able to bring more money to the community because the company doesn't pay the only tax. You got to get federal tax out of the employee payments. That's a lot of taxing. A lot of money. So the more money we collect for federal taxes, the more we send to D.C., and then the more money we get to keep for our budget. Do anybody follow me on that? Does anybody follow me on that? AOC lost 20,000 jobs in New York. We lost 20,000 or more jobs here in Washington. And you know what the people in government right now in Washington say, here in Washington State? Somebody brought up the issue, a Republican representative, and they say, well, if we keep regulating, if we keep taxing the corporation, they're going to leave. You know what they said? Boeing said the same thing. They left and they came back. We got to do what we got to do. Are you freaking kidding me? You'd rather lose thousands of jobs, millions of dollars, than to give them a break to stay? Come on. You cannot be that stupid. You cannot be that stupid. How about I grab Manuel Correa, our illegal immigrant, on the chat, and he's going to make 100 jobs here, legal 100 jobs, and they're going to get $25 to $30 an hour each. I think I might be able to find a way to get him some papers, or at least a visa with a paper saying that he can do business here in Washington State. We can do that. Now, if he doesn't love the states, I will never make him a resident or a citizen, but I will definitely give him a permit to stay here and work and pay taxes and allow him to hire people if he gives them good health benefits and good wages. You have to be able to accommodate. Something is better than nothing. And this, I don't even have a word for these guys. They said, Microsoft makes billions of dollars. If we just tax them $1 billion, they'll never even notice. Are you kidding me? Oh, they will notice. They will notice. And they will leave your city. They will leave your state. And they will go somewhere else where they are welcome. That's how you have to think if you're in government. You got to think like President Trump. You got to make deals. You want me to do a favor? You got to make a deal with me right now. How we're going to make this happen. And I'm not talking about illegal bribes and shit like that. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about like legit stuff. Like me, I'm going to give cuts, and we're going to deregulate a lot of corporations here that bring a lot of money to our state. We need to cut taxes on gas. If we cut taxes on gas down back to 35 cents a gallon instead of $1 plus, deliveries will be cheaper, production will be cheaper, and people will make more money and they will spend more money. The more money they make, the more money they spend. So the economy is not going to suffer. We need to get rid of leeches. If people are able to work, they got to go to work. There's going to be no welfare. As a matter of fact, welfare only for disabled and veterans. That's it. Nobody else. The help for children, WIC. They get cheese, macaroni, milk, and eggs. That's all they get. They get WIC. Everybody else that thinks they're going to be buying steak or fat snacks with their food stamps every day, no more. Get healthy. Get a job. There's plenty of jobs out there. Go do a car wash. Start thinking about being independent and go find your own business. No daycare needed. You need to work 20 hours a week while your kid is in school. It should make you think twice about not picking the right person to get pregnant by. There's more to unpack on that, but that's kind of the short end of it. You like to pop babies left and right? No more. That's your responsibility. We're not going to make every other citizen pay for your babies. That's not how it works. If you're working and you still don't have enough, you deserve help. Daycare. This kind of stuff will be regulated. Daycare is way too expensive. Way too expensive. And they are very overrated. I know, because we had to put our kids on daycare at some point. Businesses, people here. I know a lot of people that have decided to put daycares because it's lucrative. And all they got to do is watch kids, babysit. Ridiculous that they charge more per hour than what people actually make. How the hell are you going to charge me $10 and I'm only going to make $10 at work? Then why am I going to work? Daycares need to be regulated, not big corporations. Daycares are ripping off our country and are destroying families by creating a burden. They should be provided daycare. As a matter of fact, the same thing that they did with apartment complexes, where they now tell the builders that they have to have a certain amount of units for low house income. Daycares will actually be more of a company that probably depend more on the government. There's got to be something. That's just in the works. But I think daycare is a huge problem, and that's a good point, man. Good point. Let's see. Omar says, you're right. Sweet that Nola. Yes, definitely, says Trinity. I'm not the one claiming to be a super American, so I need to run your number. If you were ICE, I would let you. Let's see. Omar says, I don't want kids too much money. Yeah, and that's the way you should think. But at the same time, I think as a government, I want to make sure that you guys are procreating. I want to make sure that you guys are making money, but I also want you to, to make babies. We need to keep populating our state. Not too much, but we need at least 2-to-1 ratio is what the number is. I think 2.5 to 1 ratio is what we need. So every family can have 3 children, 3 to 5 children. That's what the family should be. All right, that's what I think. Renee, I thought you were leaving. Renee says, I'm working 36 hours week, 36 hours praying, 36 hours a week. Oh, okay. 3 days a week. Nice. That's nice. Now, if you have small children that need daycare, the whole idea about the people that are body able to work, they changed the thing to where, like, now if your child is 7 years old, you have to work in order to get benefits. And the reason for that is because that child should be able to go to school, which would allow you to go to work part-time, only part-time. Because as we know, here in Washington at least, schools are now for middle school and elementary, I think. I'm not sure about high school. I think it's just elementary and middle school. Fridays, they normally get out a couple hours early. So you definitely need to find jobs that will give you those 4 hours a day. Or maybe you can do like, 5-6 days a week, and then you can split those hours that way. But, I mean, it's doable. It's possible. And you will still get your full benefits for food stamps. You still get the free health care because the money that you make will be enough for you that you won't be disqualified for food benefits. Man, night shift. Whew. I did graveyard for a couple of years, and you're right. But I was doing 12 to 16-hour shifts, And that was a killer, man. You know what? There was times where my body would be so shaky, like no joke. My legs would feel so shaky, and man, it's just like a lot. Maybe dehydration had something to do with it, but yeah, I used to do 12 hours. Sometimes I would do double shift, and I'm not gonna lie, my checks were fat, but it's a sacrifice. It's a sacrifice. So remember, guys, that one of the things, Adam, I don't know if you know anything about this, but I would like to know if there is a way that we can do how we can do that campaign. I want to make sure that everything is legit. We don't want to mix monies. We got to make sure we got the right people for the right job. I mean, I can do a lot of this stuff, but it's a lot better when you have the right people in office doing the tasks. Who knows? Maybe we'll get Trinity to come over here just while we're campaigning, and then she can move back. Bring your daughter over here. Get everybody a job over here. Remember, the first 3 months are probably going to be free until we start picking up some campaign money. And then we can start paying for the staff. All right. Adam, what day is good for me to call you, brother? Let's see. Adam says there should be a penalty for adding more kids if you can't afford the ones you already have. Both men who got her pregnant and the woman. Yeah, so there's some women that says that they don't get child support from the man. Well, if that is the case, I think that what would benefit, not that it's going to happen, but one thing that would benefit is this. I would have liked it to go that way. If you take 50% of my check, I would like all that to pay for their welfare instead of her getting welfare and all that money. Because, you always hear these bad stories, right, about drinking and smoking weed and all this stuff. And it's like, whoa, wait a minute. You can afford to do all that. You don't need child support. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think so, homie. Destroy my life with that. Liberty says, I see Liberty without a chat. It's surprising. This guy is always giving chats. Liberty says, at Manuel Correa's, I will be there day you became my boyfriend. You down? Oh, man. Hey, man. None of the happy stuff over here, bro. Trinity says, my daughter used to live in Washington State on the island there. Yeah, that's right. You told me. Whitby. Yeah, it is Whitby Island. She says, but I can't remember the name. Yeah, Whitby Island. I remember the name. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Shoot, send her over here. We need some work. We need some people to work for the office. Guys, I don't think I'm going to see a veto here. If there is a veto, we will find out tomorrow. But I want you to really enjoy the rest of your weekend. Liberty, Danny, I think was one. Who was the other guy that super chat in here? Zombie, which is probably gone already. I want to thank everybody that gave me super chats. Thank you for your support. All my members, of course, thank you every single day for staying my member. Omar, go to sleep. You're past your bedtime. Brian, thank you for being here. Adam, thanks for the advice. Renee, babe. Rush, babe. Thank you for being in here. Liberty for All says, here we go. Do you pay state taxes? We don't. We only pay federal taxes. No state taxes. So that's a good one. If you pay state taxes, I think your sales taxes should be a lot less, or you shouldn't have any sales tax. It should just be flat rate. I think Oregon charges more taxes off your paycheck, but you don't pay taxes on anything that you buy in Oregon. I think that's how it is. All right. And it says my Friday night tonight, says Renee. So she's going to stay up and watch some scary movies. Salt water. Good night. God bless you. Thanks for being with me tonight. Guys, all of you patrons, if I missed your name, I apologize. Adam, you already know. Que pasa, wey? And, of course, Freshly, my favorite propaganda guy here. He is going to be my marketing manager, or she. I don't even know. I never asked if it's a he or she. But I'm going to say it's a he. But campaign manager for promoting the Dennis Herrera show. I want to say, guys, if you've been here listening to my ranting and all this other crap, thank you so much. You all have a good night. Peace out. Oh, wait. Hold on. I see something happening here. We pulled the trigger just a little bit too soon here. I think he's going to say something.
Calendar under the provisions of Rule 14, I object to my own request.
Objections heard. Bill will be read for a second time in the next legislative day.
Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent that when the Senate completes its business today, it stand adjourned until 11 a.m. on Monday, November the 10th. Following the prayer and pledge, the general proceedings be approved today. At the morning hour be deemed expired. The time for the two leaders be reserved for the use later in the day. And the Senate resume consideration of the motion to proceed to calendar number 168, H.R. 5371, post-cloture. Finally, that all time during recess, adjournment, morning business, and leader remarks count post-cloture on the motion to proceed.
Without objection, so ordered.
Mr. President, if there's no further business to come before the Senate, I ask that it stand adjourned under the previous order.
Senate stands adjourned until 11 a.m. tomorrow.
There you go. 11 a.m. tomorrow, guys. Okay, now you can have a good night. Adam, I saw that. Treasurer, for sure. Need a secretary as well. I know some of the positions, but we need to find all the legalities and the things that we can and can't do. I have a lot of homework to do, I know. But we'll get it done. All right, guys, have a wonderful night. We'll see you tomorrow. Okay? You got to be best.